Thank you, gentlemen. And I actually want to continue their line of discussion there, which is about the pick priority that we saw in this game. Again, with Coast having chosen blue side, they're going to get their first pick every single game.
Every single game.
They've shown that they think Gangplank is worthy of that first pick.
I agree.
And it seemed to work to some degree of success there. But it calls into question as well the bans that we saw come out from Enemy, as Kobe just mentioned. You know, seeing Shrimp on that Nunu. Okay, he wasn't on the Rek'Sai Eve, you know, hard carry jungler, but he seemed to be able to adjust to that pretty easily on the Nunu.
Yeah, I was impressed by Shrimp as his ability to play Nunu. It was something he played in the regular season when he wasn't playing one of the incredibly hard farming junglers, and it fit with the Azir. Like, obviously, Enemy is going to want to switch up their bans. We were talking a bit about this not being an outdraft in our initial read of it because the snowball potential was there for Enemy, especially if they got the early lead. But as far as just straight up power picks getting through, Gangplank might be like A1 highest power pick in the game right now. And Chris has proven he can play it.
Yeah, like objectively, yeah, Coast probably had a better draft. I thought like picking Shen into Gangplank was kind of, you know, ballsy. It's just kind of, okay, maybe they play the matchup a lot and they like how the map plays around that. You know, Shen actually is like, it's a really even lane, so Shen doesn't really have to worry too much, and you can kind of leave top alone. But then Gangplank kind of can free farm. So if you don't use that level 6 power spike correctly, and they were up until like maybe like around 7, then you're probably just going to crumble. Like well,
and we saw, you know, funnily enough, the Riven hover by Flares, but he didn't end up taking it. And you know, some might argue that having a little bit more pressure and another threat on the team would have worked to Enemy's advantage in that game.
Yeah, I would have really loved to see Riven. Like I said, like I really thought they lacked damage. I think Enemy is overrating Kog'Maw. I think they're just kind of having flashbacks, but Kog'Maw is kind of getting replaced. I mean, sure, he still does crazy amounts of damage, but so does Azir. Like, you can even argue in, like, kind of like a controlled zone, Azir probably can out-DPS Kog'Maw.
One of the big things I see about Azir is, like, he is such an amazing mid laner, probably the best in class, especially on 5.15 before some of the nerfs have hit him. But he takes so much mastery. Like, as far as any mid laners, you need more games on Azir than I think on almost any other mid lane champion to be able to play it at the highest level that makes it that power pick, which is why I think it fell so much in priority in this series, and maybe why Inox isn't wise to, you know, the Azir powers. Like, maybe he just decided not to put in the games, right? And also, Azir, especially earlier on in the year when he was the most picked in the LCS, but not necessarily the highest win rate, showed a weakness to poke champions because he does get outranged by things like Kog'Maw and Varus, things that Inox was very comfortable on. And as Kiwi noted earlier on in the drafting phase, it definitely felt like Enemy was picking for comfort almost first and foremost, which is completely a valid strategy. It's better to have players on champions that they can play than on the ideal champions for the matchup, which they can't play, and then become non-ideal.
I mean...
So there you go.
There you have it. There you have it. Well, Team Coast are on the board, but we'll see if Enemy can tie it up in Game 2. Don't go anywhere. The action continues in just a bit.
Keep in mind, after the game, group hug on stage. Tyson, I want you to call the group together.
All right.
Win or lose.
Come here.
There's the attempt. Oh, Flares! He taunted Chris! That's not good! Turret shot comes through. The outplay by Flares. Flares slowed down. Somebody he'll use will save body drop for now, but Shilling Spike comes through and Chris gets in with the parlay. Flares gonna be the third death as well.
Just run away. I'm getting bot turret. Yeah.
Don't worry, I poked out Lucian.
Oh,
Lucian's super
really
low. Lucian's super low.
Nice. Push everything. Push everything. Bottom. Nunu come.
And now body drop forced to defend the team, but a big knockup comes through. Here's the engage. Body drop goes down despite the ulti coming across from him. They close out game 1. 2 more and Coast are back in the LCS.